Welcome back to QuickSpeak, everyone, the English podcast, where we tackle a new, fascinating topic every time we get together. And today, we're going to be talking all about laundry.
Laundry.
But
yeah.
before you hit that skip button thinking, laundry, how interesting can that be? Trust me, there's a lot more to this everyday chore than meets the eye.
Yeah, laundry is one of those things we often just see as just another thing on that to-do list,
Right.
Something we squeeze in between errands and work deadlines. But if we take a moment to really hit pause and think about it, laundry can actually be like this really surprisingly rich tapestry of cultural values and historical practices and even philosophical beliefs.
Okay, I am intrigued, I have to admit.
Good.
But before we get ahead of ourselves and, travel to far-off lands and start talking about, the cultural significance of a perfectly folded shirt,
Yeah.
I think we need to address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
That monstrous pile of laundry is probably staring at us all from the corner of our rooms.
Right.
The one that seems to multiply overnight.
Absolutely.
We've all been there, right? Feeling totally overwhelmed by the sheer volume of clothes that just need washing.
It's a universal experience, it's true.
Yeah.
And you know what? Often the culprit behind this laundry mountain is really just the lack of a consistent routine.
Okay.
Life gets busy, and suddenly we're drowning in a sea of, dirty socks and T-shirts we forgot we even owned.
Oh, tell me about it. So what's the secret then to taming this beast? Do we all need to become those people who have laundry day etched in stone, on their calendars?
Well, I don't think it has to be that rigid, It's
Right.
less about having this designated laundry day, and it's more about just finding a rhythm that works for you,
Okay.
for your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Some people really thrive on compartmentalizing things.
Right.
So they'll have specific days dedicated to, different types of laundry, like Mondays are for whites, Wednesdays are for colors, that kind of thing.
Right.
And it works for them.
I can see that. I can see how that would bring order to the chaos.
Right.
But what about those of us who, maybe have schedules that are a bit more, shall we say, unpredictable?
Yeah. Well, in those cases, flexibility is key.
Okay.
Maybe that means embracing the one load a day philosophy.
Oh,
Even
sure.
if it's a small load, it keeps those laundry demons at bay.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's about, really taking advantage of technology.
Oh.
Using that delayed start function on your washing machine.
Right.
So it runs during off-peak hours, It's all about just finding those little hacks that seamlessly fit into your life.
Okay, so we're establishing a routine. We're finding our laundry rhythm, as you put it.
Exactly.
What's next in our journey to conquering this, household Mount Everest of laundry?
Well, once you've got that system down for when to wash, it's time to talk about what you're washing.
Okay.
And more importantly, how to sort it all. And we're going beyond just the basic whites and colors here.
Okay.
Although that's obviously crucial.
Right. Wouldn't want any dye mishaps.
Exactly. You want to avoid any of those unfortunate incidents.
Right.
But think about, different fabrics, delicates that need a more gentle touch, items with specific washing instructions.
Right.
It's like conducting the symphony of sorting.
I love that. A symphony of sorting.
Right.
You mentioned being mindful of different fabrics and care instructions.
Yes.
Do you have any tips for wrangling those tricky items? The ones that always seem to have special needs?
Absolutely. One of the simplest but most effective strategies, honestly, is to just slow down and actually read the care labels on your clothes.
Okay.
You'd be surprised how many laundry mishaps could be avoided by just taking a moment to decipher those often cryptic symbols. It's amazing how many people I know, don't even look at those care labels. They just kind of
Toss it in.
yeah, just hope for the best.
Right. Risk it for the biscuit, as they say.
But those care labels, they hold the secrets.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're reading those care labels. We're sorting strategically.
Yep.
What else can we do to up our laundry game, especially when it comes to these more delicate items?
Oh, and think about investing in some mesh laundry bags. Those things are lifesavers.
Just delicates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw those lacy things, your delicate washables, anything that could snag or stretch in the wash right into those mesh protectors, and you're good to go.
Yeah, it's like giving those delicate garments their own little safe haven
Exactly.
within the washing machine tumult.
Right.
Okay, I like it. Now, you mentioned that this whole sorting thing, it gets even more crucial with larger families.
Right.
Which, makes sense. I imagine it's easy to lose track of who wore what when you've got a whole crew's worth of laundry to contend with.
Oh, it's true. With larger families, that weekly laundry pile can quickly become really intimidating.
Right, like a formidable opponent.
Yes, exactly. But fear not, there are definitely strategies out there to wrangle even the most daunting laundry situation. One approach that a lot of people find helpful is assigning each person their designated laundry basket.
Oh.
So it's like pre-sorting,
Right.
creating that system where everyone is responsible for their own contribution to the Mount Washmore.
Love that visual, Mount Washmore.
Right.
Okay, so pre-sorting, designated laundry baskets, it's like we're bringing order to the laundry universe.
Exactly. That's what we want.
But let's shift gears for a moment and kind of journey beyond, the practicalities of stain removal and sock matching.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that laundry can actually be like this really interesting window into different cultures and their values.
Absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So let's hop across the globe for a moment and consider how laundry is approached in Japan.
Okay.
You see, in Japanese culture, the act of hand-washing clothes, it's like deeply ingrained in their traditions.
Okay.
It's not just about getting garments clean. It's a practice that reflects like this deep respect for craftsmanship, for the integrity of the fabric, for the longevity of possessions. It's almost like a meditative ritual, a moment of mindfulness woven into the fabric of their daily lives.
That's beautiful. It's amazing how an act as simple as like washing clothes can hold such weight.
I know.
Reflecting, this commitment to mindfulness, to tradition.
Yeah, and it highlights how in different cultures, efficiency isn't always the main objective.
Right.
Sometimes it really is about preserving those traditional practices, connecting with the past, and even just like finding those moments of quiet intention in the midst of our often very busy lives.
For sure. It makes you realize that, even something as like routine as laundry can be this expression of cultural values.
It's true.
Now, what about other cultures? What other unique laundry customs have you uncovered in like your explorations of this topic?
Oh, there's so many fascinating examples. Let's travel to India next.
Okay.
Where communal laundry is a really integral part of life in so many communities.
Okay.
Imagine, if you will, gathering with your neighbors by a riverbank or a shared... Just the rhythmic sound of the water splashing against the fabric, the chatter of voices as people catch up on their days while they tend to their laundry.
Yeah.
It's a social activity, a time for connection and shared purpose.
Right.
A far cry from the experience of like tossing a load into a machine in your basement, right?
Totally. And it's funny because that image you're painting, it's so vivid. And it really does remind us that some of the most meaningful moments in life really are woven into like the fabric of those everyday routines.
Absolutely.
I
completely agree. And it just underscores how cultural practices are often shaped by, necessity, resourcefulness.
Right.
So in communities where access to individual washing machines or even just running water might be limited,
Right.
communal laundry becomes not just a social tradition, but also this really practical necessity.
Right. It's a great reminder that something as seemingly simple as laundry can be influenced by all of these different factors.
Right.
Geography, economics, social structure,
totally.
all of these threads, right, kind of woven together to create this really rich tapestry of human experience.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
And speaking of threads woven together, it kind of reminds me of this practice that I read about.
Oh, yeah.
That's found in parts of Africa where water, electricity, these are scarce resources.
Right.
And to adapt to those environmental realities, communities there have developed these, they're kind of ingenious techniques for cleaning clothes using just natural elements like sand and ash.
Wow, sand and ash.
Sand and ash.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It sounds almost like alchemy, right? Turning these like simple, readily available materials into cleaning agents.
It really does.
And I think it speaks volumes about like human ingenuity and resilience.
Doesn't it? It really challenges our kind of preconceived notions of what we consider to be clean.
Right, for sure.
And reminds us that solutions can often be found by looking to that traditional knowledge and working in harmony with nature.
It makes you appreciate the access to resources that we often take for granted.
Right, for sure.
Now, we've talked about Japan, India, Africa, each with their own really unique approach to laundry. What about other parts of the world?
Well, let's journey next to the Middle East.
Okay.
Where hospitality is like deeply, deeply ingrained in the culture.
Yeah.
And, have you ever noticed how in many Middle Eastern cultures, offering a guest fresh, clean clothes, it's considered like this gesture of respect.
Oh, interesting.
And welcome. It's a way of saying, you are home here. We care for you.
That's a beautiful custom. It's amazing how, again, the simple act like providing clean laundry can carry so much weight, right?
It's true.
It becomes this symbol of hospitality and generosity.
It really does reinforce the idea that laundry isn't just about hygiene.
Right.
It can be a form of communication,
Right.
a way of expressing care, respect, and those
Yeah.
cultural values.
Laundry as a love language. I love it.
Right.
It makes you wonder what other unspoken messages we might be sending through like our own laundry habits, don't you think?
It certainly does.
It's fascinating to think about, all the subtle ways that laundry is intertwined with cultural norms and traditions. It's like every time you fold something, every wash cycle, it tells a story.
It's true. And, even within a single country, you can find all these really interesting regional differences, like unique approaches to how people do their laundry.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, let's take Iceland, for example.
Okay.
They have this deep, appreciation for the power of nature.
Right.
And that extends even to the way they do laundry.
Interesting.
So a lot of people in Iceland, they actually prefer to air dry their clothes outside,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
letting that crisp, clean, Icelandic air work its magic.
It's like bottling up the essence of the Icelandic landscape and infusing it into like your clothes.
I love that. That's a great way to put it.
I can only imagine how fresh that must smell.
It's about connecting with the environment,
Right.
harnessing those elements and embracing those natural resources that often get overlooked, especially in like our modern pursuit of efficiency.
Totally. Well, speaking of embracing traditions, in my research, I actually came across some pretty fascinating laundry superstitions
Oh, really? Like what?
from around the world.
Okay.
For example, did you know that in China, it's considered bad luck to wash clothes during the first 2 days of the Lunar New Year?
I did know that, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, right?
It is, and it's because they believe that washing clothes during that time could actually wash away your good fortune for the year ahead,
Oh, wow.
which I think is a good reminder that for a lot of cultures out there, laundry is about more than just, cleanliness.
Right.
It's really like deeply intertwined with these beliefs, and customs that have been passed down through generations.
Right. It's like this subtle dance between like the practical and the symbolic.
It really is.
And speaking of subtle dances, it's interesting to kind of observe how even like in our very modern times, a lot of the tasks associated with laundry, like ironing, folding,
Right.
these often still seem to follow along like those traditional gender roles in many cultures.
I know, it's true.
And it just, I don't know, I find it fascinating because it's a good reminder that something as, again, seemingly mundane and everyday as laundry can actually be this really interesting lens through which we can kind of examine like these broader social structures
Yes.
and expectations,
Yeah.
right? It reveals all those unspoken rules
Yeah.
that shape our lives in ways that we might not always realize.
Absolutely. And it's not even just about who does the laundry, right? It's about our evolving definition of cleanliness itself.
Oh, that's an interesting point.
Like what was considered clean, a century ago might be totally unacceptable today.
Right.
I mean, think about it. Back in the day, people used to boil their clothes for sterilization.
Oh, those cauldrons of steaming laundry.
Oh, no, right. Can you imagine?
So labor intensive.
But the point is, our perception of clean, it's shifted
Well,
with
yeah.
advancements in detergent technology, the rise of cold water washing.
Right.
The focus now is much more on freshness, on preserving the quality of the garments, and even just like being mindful of our environmental impact.
For sure. For sure. It makes you wonder how those innovations in the future, right?
Right.
How they might like further reshape our idea of clean in the years to come.
Right. Who knows? Maybe we'll have self-cleaning clothes.
Yeah, exactly.
Or sonic laundry systems that just banish those stains with like sound waves.
Right. The possibilities really are kind of endless when you think about it.
It's true. Who knows what the future holds? But I think for now, it's just fascinating to appreciate how something as universal as laundry can really connect us to cultures and practices from all around the world.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, we traveled from the mountains of dirty laundry in our own homes to the riverbanks of India, from the high-tech washing machines of Japan to the like windswept landscapes of Iceland,
Right.
all through the lens of this like, everyday chore.
It's incredible.
It really is. It's amazing. Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our exploration into this surprisingly diverse world of laundry. We hope you've gained some fresh perspectives on this age-old practice.
And maybe even, been inspired to learn a little bit more about the fascinating laundry customs of different cultures.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more captivating conversations.
And be sure to let us know in the comments, what everyday topic should we delve into next?
Until next time, happy laundering.